As the 1970s drew to a close amid the tensions of the Cold War, the emergence of the Sukhoi Su-27 Flanker marked a new frontier for technological supremacy in the skies. Previously unrivaled, the United States Air Force and its fleet of advanced F-15 and F-16 fighters now faced a formidable challenger from behind the Iron Curtain. Engineered specifically to disrupt American air superiority, the Su-27 was one of the Soviet Union's premier aerospace. This aircraft was not just a response, but a bold statement in aerospace engineering, crafted to tilt the balance of power in the skies. With its sleek, streamlined design, the Su-27 showcased the pinnacle of Soviet technology with state-of-the-art aerodynamics and avionics. Pilots around the world revered the Su-27 for its exceptional agility and robust power, making it a respected ally and a feared adversary in equal measure. Capable of carrying a wide array of weaponry, the Su-27 excelled in a variety of combat roles. Its ability to perform highly demanding aerial maneuvers, such as the infamous Pugachev's Cobra, demonstrated its superiority in close-quarter combat and its prowess in the art of dogfighting. From its initial takeoff to its vital role in modern air forces across the globe, the Su-27 Flanker has not only proven its worth in numerous air combat scenarios, but also paved the way for a new generation of fighters. In 1969, the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union raged on. The Vietnam War was escalating, and flames consumed Southeast Asia. American F-4 Phantom IIs from the Air Force, Navy, and Marines decimate the Vietnamese countryside, leaving behind a trail of terror that consumes the landscape. Nonetheless, despite the sheer firepower and impressive aerodynamics of the McDonnell Douglas aircraft, the North Vietnamese spirit does not falter. And anti-aircraft and surface-to-air countermeasures supplied by the Soviet Union strike down mercilessly the brave American pilots that dare to venture into enemy territory. As aircraft casualties mounted, McDonnell Douglas and the U.S. Air Force began working in the FX Secret program to develop a new generation of air superiority fighter aircraft that could excel in air-to-air combat. While the program advanced, leaks eventually made their way to the Soviet Union through its circle of spies, raising the red alarm among the members of the Soviet Air Force and Ministry of Aircraft Industry. If the program came to fruition, these new American fighters would be drastically superior to existing Soviet MiGs and Sukhoi aircraft. As if that was not a severe hit for the Soviet Air Force, word soon got out about the imminent launch of Grumman's F-14 Tomcat, another imposing supersonic, twin-engine, two-seat, all-weather fighter aircraft envisioned for overcoming all existing MiGs fighting over the skies of Vietnam. This immediately forced the Soviet Union to work and develop its aircraft with enhanced agility and state-of-the-art systems to deal with the American menaces. As a direct response to the F-15 and F-14 fighters, the Soviet General Staff issued a requirement for a Perspektivny Frontovoy Istrebitel, or prospective frontline fighter. The requirements were ambitious, to say the least, but Soviet air superiority was threatened, and only a revolutionary design could preserve it from total American dominance. Russia's new heavy fighter had to be long-range capable, boast impressive agility, carry heavy armament, and, more importantly, had to fly at Mach 2 speeds and beyond. Such requirements proved too challenging to tackle in a single design, leading to the specification being split into two, a lightweight and a heavy design. One would become the Su-27 and the other would lead to the development of the Mikoyan MiG-29, a twin-engine, short-range tactical fighter. The heavy fighter design fell under Sukhoi's bureau and changed constantly, as more information about its American counterpart, the F-15 Eagle, was obtained by the Soviet Air Force. Sukhoi's design was designated T-10 and featured a large wing design with a twin tail, two separate potted engines, and an additional lifting surface provided by the tunnel, which was the space between the two engines acting as a lifting surface and concealed armament from radar. It was the first Soviet design to feature a fly-by-wire control system with no mechanical link between the control systems and the wing surface areas. This innovation came at a price, leading to 2 fatal crash accidents due to problems with the new system. Additionally, the T-10 comprised state-of-the-art avionics, such as a head-up display or HUD with relevant mission data, a fire control radar, and an electro-optoelectronic targeting system. In 1975, the first prototype was done, paving the way for its first flight in 1977, when NATO observers spotted it for the first time, designating the Soviet fighter as the Flanker A. While tests were conducted almost a decade later, Sukhoi's first production was rolled out for service with the Soviet Air Force in 1985 under the official designation Su-27. The final design was similar to the MiG-29, just larger and heavier, featuring an integrated aerodynamic layout that integrated the main wing and fuselage into a single aerodynamic shape that minimized drag and improved performance at high speeds. Titanium and high-strength aluminum alloys allowed for a vital structure that could withstand the stresses of high-speed flight and combat maneuvers, as the Su-27 was intended to perform. His wings were low-mounted with a significant blend into the fuselage, reducing aerodynamic drag and providing excellent lift characteristics across various speeds. The wings were swept back at 42 degrees. They included all moving horizontal tailplanes, which, along with leading-edge root extensions, enhanced the flanker's maneuverability and allowed it to perform extreme maneuvers. One of these impressive moves was Pugachev's Cobra, a dramatic and demanding aerobatic maneuver that occurs when an aircraft flying at a moderate speed abruptly raises its nose to a vertical or slightly past vertical position. This results in a very high angle of attack and momentarily stalls the aircraft, effectively acting as an air brake before returning to routine flight. Although armament varies according to the variant, the Su-27 features a 30mm GSH-31 cannon on the starboard side of the fuselage. This powerful weapon has a fire rate of 1,500 rounds per minute and is even more devastating when coupled with the arsenal that can be carried with the flanker's 10 hardpoints. These allow the Soviet fighter to carry a mix of air-to-air missiles, such as the R-27, R-73, and R-77 missiles. The two AL-31F turbofan engines, each producing up to 27,000 pounds of thrust, enable the flanker to achieve supersonic speeds of over 1,550 miles per hour, a rate of climb of 59,000 feet, and a service ceiling of 62,000 feet. All these incredible feats result from an aerodynamic aircraft with a maximum takeoff weight of 67,000 pounds, a length of 71 feet, a width of 48 feet, and a height of 19 feet. Since its introduction in 1985 to the Russian military, the Su-27 has undergone an impressive transition phase, resulting in several variants that have been exported worldwide and are still vital today. For instance, the Su-27K or Su-33 is a naval fleet defense interceptor specifically adapted from aircraft carriers, featuring redesigned arresting gear, high lift devices, and folding wings. Another unique variant is the Su-30, a two-seat dual-role fighter designed for all-weather operations to engage hostile forces in air-to-air combat and air-to-surface deep interdiction missions. Another exciting derivative is the Su-34 Fullback, a side-by-side two-seat variant that serves as a strike-slash-fighter-bomber capable of ground attack and air-to-air combat missions. Other variants with thrust vectoring nozzles are the Su-35 and Su-37, emphasizing extreme maneuverability and impressive post-stall capabilities with upgraded radar and a digital fly-by-wire system. Vietnam, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and China are some countries currently employing the iconic Soviet fighter. Besides the numerous export variants produced by Russia, the Chinese military developed the Shenyang J-11 based on the Su-27 SK, leading to disputes with Russia about the legitimacy of its development. The Su-27 saw significant combat during the conflict between Ethiopia and Eritrea during the last years of the 20th century. Ethiopia used its Su-27S extensively for air superiority and ground attack missions. The Su-27S were credited with shooting down several Eritrean aircraft, including Soviet MiG-29S, which the Eritrean Air Force operated. Angola's Air Force also used Su-27Es, acquired from Belarus and Russia during the later stages of the Angolan Civil War in the early 2000s. These aircraft were deployed primarily for air superiority and defensive operations to counter UNITA's air threats, while the more modern variants like the Su-30 and Su-35 have seen more extensive use in the Syrian conflict. Su-27s have also been deployed for air superiority missions to bolster Russia's air presence in Syria. More interestingly, Su-27 Flankers from both Russia and Ukraine have been used in combat operations against each other since the Russian invasion of the Eastern European country in February 2022. Although the Ukrainian flankers are relatively outdated since both countries distanced themselves from each other in the mid-2000s, they have been adequately maintained for direct combat operations. Flankers from both sides have taken down hostile enemy aircraft and emplacements since the beginning of the conflict. Others have also been shot down in aerial engagements or have fallen victim to anti-aircraft defenses. Although the Su-27 Flanker entered service years after the introduction of the American F-15, it fulfilled its creator's objective of being a direct competitor of its Cold War counterpart, surpassing it in some areas. For instance, both are twin-engine fighters, although the F-15 was developed as an all-weather tactical fighter. The Flanker was tailored primarily for air superiority and interception missions. Speed-wise, the F-15 Eagle, which has an empty weight of around 31,700 pounds, can achieve supersonic speeds of Mach 2.5 or greater without afterburners. With an overall empty weight of 44,000 pounds, the Flanker can reach a speed of Mach 2.35, slightly slower than the F-15 due to its increased weight. In other words, both fighters stand out at high-speed interception operations, providing their pilots excellent maneuverability due to their large wing area and aerodynamic airframe, especially the Flanker with its internal fuel stores. The Eagle can perform high G-load maneuvers without compromising the airframe. Generally, she cannot keep up with the Flanker at close-range engagements, forcing the aircraft to opt for high-speed, high-altitude engagements to balance the odds. When it comes to avionics, both aircraft are close. The Flanker features the Phasotron N001 radar, an advanced avionics suite capable of tracking multiple targets simultaneously and engaging several with its fire control system. At the same time, the Eagle is equipped with the AN/APG-63 or the more advanced AN/APG-82V1 radar systems designed for deep penetration strike missions and multi-target air-to-ground and air-to-air capabilities. Armament is also a close call between both aircraft. Besides their powerful cannons, they feature plenty of space for additional equipment. For instance, the Flanker has a payload capacity of 17,600 pounds and is equipped with 10 external pylons that can carry a mixture of air-to-air missiles, including the advanced R-27 and R-73 missiles, providing significant beyond-visual range and close combat capabilities. Similarly, the Eagle has an increased payload capacity of 23,000 pounds and features 9 external hardpoints, plus 2 fuel tank stations. It can also carry devastating Sparrow, AMRAAM, and Sidewinder missiles for guaranteed devastation at close, medium, and long ranges. While the F-15 has a higher payload capacity than the Su-27, both aircraft are designed to carry a versatile range of weapons, fuel tanks, and other equipment to fulfill their respective roles effectively. The Su-27's payload capacity is tailored to its primary role as an air superiority fighter, emphasizing agility. In contrast, the F-15's higher payload capacity allows for a broader range of weapons and mission configurations. The Su-27 has provided the Russian Air Force with an impressive aircraft that is still going strong almost 4 decades after its introduction. Despite being solely envisioned as a counter to the American F-14 and F-15 aircraft, the Su-27 Flanker has proven its worth as one of Russia's most formidable fighters ever developed. Its tremendous versatility and armament configurations for a wide array of operations have turned the Flanker into the cornerstone of several air forces across the globe. It will remain so thanks to the ongoing upgrades and modernization phases that guarantee the Su-27 will tackle the challenges that will come from future NATO aircraft. The Su-27 stands as one of the best fighter aircraft of its generation, standing next to its American counterparts in a gesture of defiance and engineering prowess. The Su-27 has had a long journey. From a Cold War-era project to a modern-day air superiority staple, the Su-27 Flanker is a testament to Russia's dedication to constantly reinventing its air assets to retain its place as one of the world's most powerful and technologically advanced air forces.